What's up, everybody? Welcome to a Monday edition of the Ysn Power Hour. DJ Yoakley with you. Max Sola holding it down the middle, looking like he's going to rob a bank. Ty Bartell on the far right side at the top. We got a couple of lead blockers down at the bottom. Coach Seidel and, of course, Quinn Pushkar in G Burger Farm Studios. Yes, Quinn?
What?
Oh, sorry. I thought you had something to say. Put that microphone right up to your mouth. You were ready to go.
But I always have been the base of the pyramid, so that's okay.
I don't even know what that means. Is that like from gym class or from cheerleading camp?
Lead blocker, that's all.
You are the lead blocker. Although, if I had to pick one, I'm taking coach. No offense, Quinn.
Me too.
Just saying. Starting out today, first off, I hope everybody had a great weekend. It was a great weekend here at YSN. A lot of stuff going on, a lot of games that were covered, and a lot of teams that we will talk about to finish out their seasons one way or the next. But before we get there, it is National Proofreading Day. And unfortunately, we don't have our resident expert proofreader, Jeff Betos, to chime in. But I guess the question becomes, everybody had to proofread in school, right? You proofread your essays, all that. Or did you? Because I never did. I just went, as soon as we got on the computers, they used to have kind of like before Siri took over your world and changed words, they just had that red underline of basically the computer asking you, what the hell is this? I just trusted the computer and went for it. It changed all the punctuation, changed all that stuff. Were you a proofreader, or did you skate by without proofreading at all? Billy Mack, I've got an idea. I've got a thought, but I want to hear you say it.
I'm pretty sure it's quite obvious. I am not a proofreader. Between the lines of text messages, I don't even put the star anymore. And some days I get so lazy, I'm just like, you know what? Figure it out. Who cares? Oh, well, deal with it. Not a proofreader.
I do like the hat, though, representing the range.
Yeah, I got a nice little maroon and white hat. It's pretty nice. It fits well.
It's a very nice hat. Adidas hat, which they usually run big. Ty, I'm going to guess you're a proofreader, but you can prove me wrong if you'd like.
I am. Back in high school, wasn't so much. Kind of was like you, DJ. Kind of just trusted the computer, did whatever I can. Just got by. I mean, with that, that was usually good enough for high school for good grades. But in college, everything kind of switches up, and you kind of need to do that. And I started evolving and becoming more of a perfectionist as I got older. So yeah, I proofread a lot more now, especially with anything college related assignments or anything like that. It becomes a little bit more important.
Oh, I'm glad Paige likes the fancy new background. Ty, I had you dead pegged for someone that proofread since you were in kindergarten.
Yeah, not so much that early, but definitely later stages here. Definitely more of a perfectionist now. So,
Paige chiming in again. He says, "Can't even spell my name right. He's definitely not a proofreader." This is on purpose now. It is now on purpose that the E comes before the A in Mikael. Coach, proofreader or no?
Yeah, I'm a big-time proofreader, and it really stems back to the fact that I am just an atrocious speller. So if I don't proofread it, you might not have any idea what the hell I'm saying.
If you can spell growler, then you're already next to the last. You're not the worst in the company at spelling. So
no, I think I'm one step above Jeff.
I'll take it. Quinn, how about you? Proofreader? I think that you just don't care enough, or you're just too lazy.
No, I don't make mistakes. So.
Oh. Wow.
But no, I'm like Ty. When I was in college, I did a ton of proofreading. I
really
didn't want to mess that up. I needed every point I could get, so I didn't want to mess that up.
Quinn, how's the internet? How's the internet back there?
Fantastic.
All right.
Fantastic. Thanks to Brian Scott, the legendary Brian Scott. It's fantastic.
Dude, all hell broke loose last night when the lights went out. I was having a great interview with Coach Tressel for the FCA, and then all of a sudden, everything, like I saw the lights flicker over there, and then I have a light in front of me and 3 lights beside me, and they all just went out. The computer screens went out. We're supposed to have a generator. That thing doesn't work, apparently. Never had to try it out before. That doesn't work. So, and the internet never went back on. I just went home. After that FCA, that great opportunity I had to interview Coach Tressel. But apparently the internet wasn't back on this morning. I was on the internet. when I came in, and I don't know if the back's on different internet or whatnot, but Anthony Hartwig says, I personally had a peer read the paper. Always good to have different set of eyes on your writing. Okay, I'll take that. Wow, guys, shot fired at me, says Jeff Bezos. I mean, when is it not? Like we just call Jeff Bezos the gun range because we just continue to right at him all the time. Billy, you're hilarious with the laughing emoji. Okay. Okay, so happy National Proofreading Day. One of the worst days of the year by far. Second only to Pi Day, which somebody's got to get behind. But at least you get pie. So one of the biggest things of the weekend, the biggest stories, is the McDonald girls state-bound on their way to Dayton. Truly one of the best teams in the area, and they've proven it time and time again. The question I had from all of this is, number one, can this team win state? Can they bring home the gold? Can they just not be a participant in the Final Four, but actually bring home a gold from Dayton? And then secondly, I feel like we've kind of painted a brush over top of the fact that McDonald got a late start on this season. So was this an asset or something they had to overcome at this point in the season because their legs might be a little bit more fresh than others from around the state? Billy, we'll start with you.
No, I'm not going to take any of those in consideration. I think McDonald is a super good team, and they have multiple people who can hurt you. If you try to focus on one thing, it seems like there's another girl who just steps up and makes big plays. So I think the versatility of their probably 6 to 7 girls deep that they are, they can all kind of do different things, and they can all score at any time. So I think that's the issue that teams have problems with, is they have a game plan and McDonald just adjusts, and it's just on the floor. It's not even really, and it's not to take anything away from the coaching aspect, but it seems that these girls have been playing under that system for, together for so long that they just go, okay, we'll just find the open girl. And that's kind of how they beat you. It seems that teams have a good idea what they want to do, and McDonald counterpunches, and their counterpunches hit hard.
Josh Scott says, so happy for Coach Mattizi. We've had a ton of battles over the years, and I can tell you that guy deserves this. He certainly does. And congratulations to Coach Scott, the Columbiana Boys Coach of the Year. And that was announced yesterday. We're announcing it today on the network. But congratulations, Coach Scott. He and Sarah Hamilton, the boys and girls basketball's Coach of the Year here in Columbiana County, respectively. So congratulations to them. Back to the task at hand. Billy, you nailed why McDonald is so good, but my question now turns to, do you think they can win the state championship for the great city of McDonald?
Why not? It's the same issues. Defensively, they're a problem for any defense there, and I think that they can score with anybody, and they play good rotation defense. So I think they got as good a shot as any, and I'm rooting for them.
All right, Quinn, we'll go to you. You've had, obviously, you're close with some of the players on the team. You've seen the majority of these teams through the AAU circuit. Do you feel like McDonald is the team to beat, or do you think they're the underdog going into it, and do they bring home the state championship?
I mean, at this point, you're in the Final Four. You're one of the best 4 remaining. I don't think there's really an underdog in Division 4 after what I've seen bracket-wise. I think they're all talented teams. Me personally, I'm going to say McDonald's the favorite just because they're my favorite. So.
Oh, look at you.
But nevertheless, I mean, Billy hit it right on the head. They are a very, very good team. They're deep. They've got 3, 4, maybe even 5 great shooters that could just really hurt you any day. It just depends on who's going to get hot, honestly. Other than that, defensively, they play really good defense. They rotate really well. All the generic coaching things that you could say, they really just do. And they're really well coached with Coach Kohler and Coach Matisse. They're a complete package almost. And I personally can't see any real flaws in their game moving forward. And I like their chances. I really do.
And that changes my opinion on Coach now.
I was just going to ask you, Billy, do you feel better that he's a Michigan fan or worse?
Nope, go team.
We go down to Coach Seidel. Matt, do you feel like McDonald is still kind of that perennial powerhouse going into it, or do you think that they've got a little bit of underdog to them as they head into territory that they haven't been to since 1991?
Yeah, if you if you look at the statewide tournament bracket, look at the Final Four, it's some of those blue blood names of the Division IV programs, and they're going to come up against a really good Waterford program that has been around for years and years. They start their girls out really young. I know I had a chance to see a couple of those girls that ended up at Mount Union playing. So it'll be interesting to see how they can hang in that strong Division IV bracket. Nice to see that Berlin Highlands up at D3, and so you don't have to contend with that. But I think they can pull it off.
Ty, you've seen a lot of basketball this year, and obviously we're down to the Final Four on the girls' side. Do you feel like McDonald is going to be able to bring back that crowning achievement and crowning accomplishment such as a state title?
I think they have a really good chance to do it, honestly. I think, and, we've been talking about McDonald since, I think, the beginning of the season, too, since we started seeing them play. And we've said since the onslaught that this is a top 3 girls basketball team in the area. And I remember Quinn and I specifically talking at the beginning of the playoffs before it even started. We said Western Reserve or McDonald, one of these two teams is going to state, because we saw those two teams playing and how well they both dominated Division IV. And we saw what McDonald was able to do, handled Western Reserve very well. So that just shows the how much of a juggernaut McDonald really is going into the playoffs. I think they have a great chance at bringing home some gold for the area, and I think it would be good for not only the school but for the YSN and McDonald area in general. And I don't like the whole debate. Yeah, they started late. Same thing with football, same thing with basketball. You play that with what you're dealt. The hand you get dealt, you got to play with it, whatever it is. Some teams, you get that extra rest in the beginning. Some teams you start out, you have more games, more experience in the thick of the regular season. You got to play with what you got.
Well, that's kind of what I'm looking at. I mean, we talked about it when it happened. The Trumbull County teams were at a significant disadvantage to be kind of starting the season so late. But now you're still hanging, and you haven't played. You can flip the argument to you haven't played quite as long. So the legs might be a little bit more fresh in that aspect. You might have a little bit more gas in the tank than some of these other teams. Does it become an advantage, Ty, at this point? Can you see the argument that maybe McDonald has an advantage going into these final 2 games?
I think it's definitely something you can definitely look at. It goes back to that rest versus rust debate that we always talk about. And it goes right back to, they're going to have the fresher legs. They played less games throughout the season. But then you go into it, the other team, Waterford, I think is it, right? Waterford. Waterford, sorry. But, coming into that, they have a little bit more games, a little bit more experience. They've seen a little bit more teams because they've been playing longer schedule. So, you could look at advantages each side. I definitely would take the fresher legs, the fresher team, and with the way that McDonald's hitting right now, they're almost hitting like that mid-season peak. What we see from those schools where they hit that mid-season peak, and it's like, this is an unbeatable team. We're seeing that from McDonald right now going into the state championship.
How scary is that, Billy Mack, to have a primed up McDonald in mid-season form when, some of these teams may have been there before. I haven't done enough research on it. Ty will inevitably do that for us as we get closer to tip off. But if this is a primed up McDonald team playing their best basketball, that could be considered in many different camps, I'm sure, a machine that you don't want to mess with.
Yeah, they're already a team that I think you don't really want to see, and hopefully you catch them on a night where they're just not shooting very well. But this is a dangerous team. I've already said a couple things about them, and now they're in midseason form. The Ty says, "Woo, going to the top."
And that's a game that we'd have to give the Ty naturally if we were allowed to broadcast it, because what did I call you on Saturday? What was it? Big Game Bartel. Or Big Game Bart. So, it's one of those things. Obviously, we're frustrated from the standpoint that we can't cover any more games from a video standpoint, but it has been a long, long season. Let me just tell you, it has been a long season, and there has been a lot of traveling around this country and around this area of the YSN crew. So we wish everybody good luck. We're still going to have YSN representation at these games, doing the stories, taking the pictures. So thank you, and best of luck to McDonald. We're rooting for you. We're in your corner, baby. Let's go. You made it this far. You might as well cash in the briefcase and take the crown. So we're excited for you.
In the words of Steve Leslie, there's only one thing left to do.
Yeah. We'll let you interpret what that thing is to do. How about this one, guys? Did anybody see that Struthers game the other night? What an unbelievable game that was on both sides of the court. Chardon, a 14 seed? I don't think so. I think somebody biffed up that card there. But this had every right to be game of the year. I mean, you got two teams that scored over 100 apiece. It was 118, 108 final?
Something like that.
Something like that. You know, I saw 116 and somebody corrected it. So I think it was 118, 108. It was probably the best offensive game I've seen all year. Defense, they tried, but two powerhouse offenses, you just couldn't stop. You just could not stop it. Reality. I mean, they did. They just said, you know what?
Like an all-star game. Just go.
It was very similar to watching an NBA game. You know, the defense was there, but at the end of the day, it didn't matter. Like the offense, both offenses were clicking, and it came down to, you know, who was going to have that last great run, and Struthers put it together at the end and obviously walked away the winner. Struthers, to me, has been the team all along. They've been the team, right? When you look at teams around this area, they are the team. They drew their short straw from a perspective. They get Akron St. V's. This has every opportunity to be another opportunity for Struthers to have another game of the year right after the other one. Do you feel like Struthers can pull it together and be able to continue this streak that they're on right now and do damage here as what we had? What is it? This is the district finals? No, they just won the district finals. This is the regionals. This is the regionals. Okay, the regional semi. So can they take toe-to-toe with LeBron's former team? Let's go to Quinn first.
So naturally, I'm skeptical. To me, this one seems like an underdog story for Struthers just because of St. V's. They have a really good player. But, I mean, Coach Wernicke's going to do an interview with Steve tonight, I believe, or Wednesday. So I'm sure I'll get more information on that and probably get amped up and ready to go. But, I mean, I think Struthers definitely has a shot. I think they do. I like how they play. I liked how Slocum played last night or Saturday night. Brandon Washington is playing good basketball. And, I mean, you always have to know where Trey Metzger is to shoot the ball. So I think they definitely could. I think they're a more complete team than St. V's is, and I think that'll help them in the long run. But defensively, I mean, I'm excited to watch them match up with Malachi Branham. I think that's going to be a great matchup. Whoever guard him.
I like hearing that. Is anybody else, show of hands, just overly excited for this game? I am excited. I got my Wildcat stuff, red and black attack. We're ready to go here in YSN's dojo. Billy Mack, I mean, what are you most looking forward to out of this game? I mean, there's a lot of hype around this one already.
Listen, I'm praying for them to get past because I want to see a Cheney Struthers matchup to go to states in the worst kind of way. I'm so pleased let this happen. You know, they had a big task. They got a potential future NBA player that they're going to be facing, and we know how those NBA players in high school, they seem to kind of take over games whenever they want. So we'll see how they can kind of defend them. And it didn't look like they played much defense in the last game, but the object is to score more than the other team. So as long as they can keep scoring at 118 pace, I think they'll be in it towards the very end.
Coach, do you think that might go into or have an effect on this game coming up against the Fighting Irish? Is the fact that they did have to go into a little overtime and they did have to keep those legs going a little bit longer, and it was a game that there was over 200 points scored in. Do you think that has any effect on this game for Struthers and Akron St. V's?
Yeah, I think that, you know, they've proven now that they're battle tested and they can do it on the offensive end. What I'm real interested to see is how they adjust defensively. Like Brandon was mentioning in the comments, St. B's got 2 players ranked inside the top 100 players in the nation. I'll be real interested to see what kind of a defensive strategy they come out with to at least try and slow those guys down. You're not going to stop star players like that, but if you can contain them a little bit, I think Struthers definitely has the kind of team with the kind of pieces to be able to go out and compete.
Let's go over to big game. Bart, you got 1 ticket that you get to punch for YSN. Hypothetically, are you going McDonald and announcing that game because it's going to be a good game, or are you going to Struthers, Akron St. V's, because that's going to be the better game? Your choice.
Wow, that puts me right on the spot too, and that's a difficult one. Man, it's hard for me to pick between those two because I really do believe I would have to go in this instance just because McDonald is a state championship game. I would have to lean McDonald, but I mean, I wouldn't take away anything from this matchup or this game going forward. Going into this game between Struthers and St. Vincent St. Mary's, we already know what St. Vincent St. Mary's produces. Struthers, any team, it seems like, especially boys basketball that comes out of this area, we always are skeptical. Normally, when they go up against those Cleveland teams, those Akron teams, some of those Cincinnati teams, we don't really get the kind of respect in this area basketball-wise that sometimes we deserve. This is kind of a chance for Struthers to showcase that. And I think that game against Chardon, going 116, 108 in overtime, I think that's going to help them going forward. I think they finally found someone that was, like Coach Scheidel said, battle tested them, and they didn't really have a team like that all season. They were running through teams 20 plus, 30 plus victories game in and game out. They needed someone to keep it close and be a little bit competitive with them and make them really, bring them true selves out and bring out that most competitive nature. What I'm looking for, though, I mean, the players that St. V's has, 2 players in the top 100. I'm looking at guys like Trey Metzka. You're going to need your big players to step up on a big situation, on a big stage. I'm looking to my stars to be able to put up points and try to counteract the points that St. V's is going to put up with their big stars.
Another underdog versus a perennial powerhouse situation here. Do you feel like Struthers kind of, they of course want to win, but do you feel like that they are expected to win at this point? They're undefeated, and everybody knows that. But when you go up against Akron St. V's, there's a lot of tradition, there's a lot of hype, there's a lot of hoopla that you're going up against with it. Those are LeBron's boys, right? That's the team that LeBron built, and you got the same coach there still, right? Is it Coach Drew, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, is the pressure off of our Wildcats here as they step toe-to-toe against the Irish here this week, playing on Thursday? And a great point by Chris Ziegler here, lay off until Thursday definitely helps avoid the hangover for Struthers. But the question is, can Struthers embrace that underdog role, being the Wildcats? Billy, would you like the underdog role if you're Struthers right now?
Sure. I mean, I think it's not a secret that they, even as an undefeated team, they're the underdog in this by a lot. And especially when it comes to media outlets, from Akron to Youngstown, they're an underdog, so they should embrace that role and go after it. But if they really want to be put in the same situation where they want respect and they got to go out and beat a team like Akron St. Vincent and put themselves on the map. And put Youngstown on the map a little bit better, saying that Youngstown has good basketball in the area.
I think that's the one thing that we've been shorted on. We've had some good basketball before, but it just happens that other teams have better teams at that particular time. They kind of flush us out. Ron had been talking about it for seemingly the 1 year he's been on here at YSN about how our basketball had been terrible, and all of a sudden he's changing his tune a little bit because we've got these teams that are fighting for district and regional championships. So I'm very interested. All right, let's quickly get to this one because I know there's a lot of people that want to discuss this with the man of the hour. Ty Mooney beats the buzzer. It's Michael Pellini. It was another just unbelievable game for you. An unbelievable call. You are the big game magnet. Talk to us about that game and how Mooney just continued to just churn through the butter of their season. It feels like it's been sticky the entire way.
Going into that game too, I knew it was going to be a good matchup, and I talked about it previewing that game between Waterloo and Mooney. And going into that game, I over the course of the season, I got to love both of these teams and both of these schools because I got a chance to interact with the fans and really got to interact with some of the players and just got to really interact with the communities all in all. And I really started to really like the Mooney community and the Waterloo community because of how much they put into their sports teams, especially basketball, how much Waterloo and Mooney love their basketball teams as well. But going into this game, I thought that Waterloo had the best overall player in Shockley, but I said that Mooney had the better team. And what we saw from Mooney when Michael Pellini ended up with 4 fouls with 5 minutes left to go in the third quarter, you're thinking, this isn't good for Mooney. And Mooney immediately goes down, I think, by 7 at that point. And Mooney is not looking good, but those resilient Cardinals always find a way. And it seems like they always do that they've always done that throughout this season. No matter how far you think they're down, that they play such a good team basketball that they're able to always stay in it with guys like Hergenrother and guys like Thomas Fire that just chip in at the right times. They always seem to be in the right place at the right time to make that comeback. And of course, we know the man of the hour, Michael Pellini, came back in the fourth quarter, did not foul out, still played tremendous defense all the way through. Shockley showed out for Waterloo. I think he ended with 31 on the night, but Pellini, that big man over there, Mr. MP, number 45, came in big three at the end of the game, 24 points to end it, and finished it off with that an incredible fadeaway three. I mean, and just talking to the guy too, stand-up kid, one of the nicest kids you'll ever get to talk to. So I mean, great thing for him, great thing for Mooney, and great thing for his team. And I'm wishing him the best of luck against Cleveland Lutheran because I want to see them beat the boys on the lake.
I'm really interested about kind of your feelings because your heart was split in half going into this game. Half of it was on Mooney, half of it was on Waterloo. Two teams, like as you said, you covered throughout the season. Was your heart swelling for Mooney or was it broken more for Waterloo?
It was a very interesting feeling because at one point, you're very excited, but you could also feel Waterloo because they had that game just as well as Mooney did. Waterloo goes up, huge 3 in overtime from Shockley. They go up by 5 at one point, and you're thinking that's over, and Mooney's able to come back. It was just a case of just loving both these teams so much and just loving what these programs and these fans and everything that went into this game. It was one of those cases, unfortunately, there had to be a winner at the end of the day because these are two great teams, two great programs. Someone had to win. The better team, I do believe, ended up with the victory. But, I mean, don't take anything away from Waterloo. Still a great season, great program, and just great all around everything going on over there in Waterloo. But I was just more happy that I got to see a great basketball game and got to call the names of the big players and make them look like superstars for a night.
DJ's frozen.
Bye, DJ.
I was curious if he wasn't. I was like, he gets not blinked in quite some time. I was like, that's a pretty stone cold face the whole way through.
Oh, he's got the stone cold jacket behind him too, so that's fitting.
But I guess asking you too, Billy. I mean, you've seen Mooney too. I mean, Michael Pellini, that dude. I mean, seeing him again and seeing him in playoff form because I haven't seen him there. That dude's incredible, and some of the shots he could hit, that fadeaway is dirty as all hell.
Yeah, Michael's a good player. I don't think he gets enough credit or maybe respect in the Valley that maybe he should, because it's kind of funny to say Mooney's not been necessarily an underdog, but they've been overlooked throughout the course of this season, at least in our perspective from us covering. I mean, we cover every team in the Valley, but it almost seems like we kind of put Mooney on a back burner because we're so used to Mooney football, for example. So it's good to see Michael get his due, and he deserves every bit of it.
Are we on?
Yeah.
So my internet's gone. It's over the front. So something happened with that power outage last night. Now I got cough. I just got corona.
You come back to the Poe arena and now you're coughing.
I got corona. We don't even have a thing for our. My entire run sheet is on my computer. So I didn't get to hear the rest of Ty's stuff, but Billy, what was it like in your house? Kate's a huge Mooney fan when it comes down to it, an alum, obviously. She's probably feeling pretty good about the Cardinals right now.
Yeah, I mean, she's pretty excited. Kate's a big Mooney supporter blindly. So, as a Mooney grad and alumni, it doesn't matter what they're doing. And of course, yeah, she's super stoked because I'm talking nice about Mooney as an Ursuline guy here. But it's like I said before. I mean, and she's real excited, and she's was like, "Hey, you're gonna go do the game up in Twinsburg?" And I said, "Well, I'll go do the game if it's available." Unfortunately, we can't cover it, but otherwise, maybe I would have been there. So, oh well to her. But we are rooting for Mooney. I am rooting for Mooney. They're a local team, so I'm super excited about them, and I hope they go all the way to state.
Out of all the teams that have played, and obviously we know that there's teams still playing, what team are you most surprised one way or the other of their outcome this year? Is there anybody that really stuck out to you and you thought, man, that's impressive? Or, man, I really wish they had a better shake at the stick this year?
I think the team that most surprised me that's left is got to be Mooney for me. I didn't really see it coming. I knew that they would be a good, solid team, but I thought maybe district semis and then they would get beat by somebody. But they just, rallied around Michael Pelini, and then their all-star cast of just guys kind of showing up, like Ty says, in key critical moments. And it seems that there's a guy here and a guy here kind of knocking down a big shot. So to me, I would have to say it's the most surprising for me is Mooney. I expected McDonald. I expected Struthers to be there. I expected Western Reserve girls to be there. I expected, the Mooney boys to kind of be there. Or not Mooney, excuse me, McDonald boys and Cheney boys. So this has got to be the most surprising for me.
For me personally, I got to go with Springfield. As much as I will say Mooney is surprising, Springfield surprises me just a little bit more, especially with what we know is that big shot that went off with Sebring too, and that might bring some teams down going into the playoffs, losing to your rival like that. But Springfield is another one of those teams similar to Mooney, and where they are one of the most resilient basketball teams I've seen in the area. In a team that it doesn't matter how much you beat them and you put them down and you try to push them down and put them away, they always like that cockroach that you try to flush down the toilet always tries to come back up. And they have a way of always pushing back into games, and they play a great team basketball. It's another case where there's not really one superstar that's going to pile it in the box score. They have 5 all-stars that are just playing great team basketball. Everyone's going to get their buckets. Everyone's going to get to touch the ball. And before you know it, you're behind this team that you were ahead by 10. And then all of a sudden, blink of an eye, you're down by 4, 5, 6 to this team just because they play such a great team basketball.
I think they got a little bit better draw too in the tournament. So I expected them to be in there. They got, Mooney almost had that gauntlet run where there's New Falls, Waterloo, LeBray defending district champ, and that district seemed to be a little bit more heavy strung on. You have to go through a couple teams here and play really good night in and night out. That's why I wasn't so much surprised as to Springfield. Plus, there's a lot of those guys that play football. I don't know if you knew this, but they went to a state championship game. So I heard this. So they got a pedigree of just winning, just knowing how to win by any means. And even though it's a different sport, it does carry over.
Coach, how about you? Who's your biggest surprise?
Yeah, I think the biggest surprise for me is going to be Mooney, and it really just stems from not knowing very much about him before the season. I'll let you behind the scenes a little bit here. Ty texted me about 2 hours before that game tipped off. He had a cancellation and wanted to know if I wanted to come call it with him. And I made the mistake of a lifetime in deciding to keep my other plans and not go to that game. So I'm still kicking myself over here for not getting a chance to get over there and make that game. But yeah, Mooney, a little bit of a surprise. And I agree with Billy. The culture at Springfield is just incredible right now.
Love it. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we got to talk about the NBA All-Star Game. I don't know my feelings on it yet, so we're going to try to decipher those as we come back. We want to get your thoughts on the NBA All-Star Game, and as well as a local stud baseball player signs on with a D1 school. We'll talk about Ursuline's Brady Shannon when we come back on the YSN Power Hour right after this.
New things happen all day. Some are good, some not so good. In today's complicated world, while you're busy working, playing, and living life, we're busy helping you make sense of the day's news. And there's only one place where it comes together with clarity, context, and accountability. It's 21 News at 6 with me, Madison Tromler, and Derek Steyer.
21 News at 6. It's what the day's news really means to you.
Welcome home to a home made homier with Baird Brothers Fine Hardwoods. Inspiration starts at BairdBrothers.com and is turned into reality when high-quality hardwoods are delivered right to your home. Baird Brothers has the latest design trends, shiplap and skinny lap interior siding, antique oak rustic flooring. And, well, you'll find them all at BairdBrothers.com. Ordered easily, delivered conveniently, enjoyed comfortably. BairdBrothers.com.
WRS Wealth Advisors, the area's premier wealth and retirement specialists. Located on South Avenue in Boardman.
Hi, this is Jim Myers with Myers Family Insurance, your local Medicare and retirement resource. We're excited to have sports back. Whether you're on the field or cheering from the stands, sports unifies communities and brings hope for the future. We're all one team working together. At Myers Family Insurance, we know the importance of a great team.
Our team continues to grow to help you with your Medicare and retirement needs.
The annual election period is October 15th through December 7th. Now's the time to make sure your plan continues to meet your needs for the upcoming year.
Call today.
Hi, I'm Colin Chupa. And I'm Kelsey Clem from K-Squared Marketing. Our boutique marketing firm specializes in media planning and buying, public relations, event marketing strategies, and strategic sponsorships. We can integrate our services with your existing game plan, or we can be your entire marketing team. Your goals, our game plan. Let's win together. Call K-Squared Marketing at 330-623-2730 or visit ksquared.marketing to learn more.
And welcome back to the YSN Power Hour. Look who's got internet again. Amazing how it works whenever all you got to do is restart the computer. So here we go. The All-Star Game last night, guys. It kind of snuck up on us. NBA All-Star Game. Some people wanted to play. LeBron, I think he tagged 13 minutes total. Didn't really want to play. Steph Curry showed up. The thing about this All-Star Game, and I might have said it last year about this time, I'm so amazed with what these athletes can do when they're not guarded and when they're playing loose. They were hitting half quarters. Just like swoosh, no problem. Are you impressed about how great that these actual athletes are? I mean, have we been bamboozled to the fact that there is, they say there's no defense, but the defense might just be that good to make it look like it's effortless at this point? I mean, I don't know. I need a Dr. Phil because I can't come together with my feelings right now about the NBA and where it's at. Somebody help me, please.
NBA stinks.
Dynamite drop in, Monty. All those years of broadcasting school paying off for you.
I was going to leave it down to our basketball coach down there. I thought he was going to take first reins at it. I was going to go second or third crack.
Who's that?
No.
I'm dead serious. I had no idea the All-Star Game was even being played.
We really didn't, because we were just talking about the other day. Hey, I asked Quinn, I go, hey, when's the All-Star Game? He goes, I don't know. No idea.
They don't have one. Last I heard, they didn't even have one.
LeBron didn't want one.
Whatever.
And he did load management during the All-Star Game. But yes, Chris Paul dunked. Also, Steph Curry dunked. And Steph Curry was putting on a light show, shooting the lights out it was half court. I mean, he was shooting them from half court. And I think he had 3 or 4 that he drilled from, like, ridiculous range.
I mean, he's done that in regular season games, so.
I have a hard time watching anything All-Star Game because it just doesn't seem like it. Like, if I got something better to do, anything besides sitting on a couch, I would much rather do that than, and even sometimes just sitting on the couch with the TV off, I'd rather do than watch anything NBA or All-Star related.
Really?
I don't like All-Star games.
I watched the All-Star game.
Unless Pete Rose plays in every single one of them, I'm out.
You weren't even alive when Pete Rose played in the All-Star game.
Don't care.
I do prefer the new way that NBA does their All-Star game, though. I like it better than the traditional East versus West. I kind of like the old school, pick your teams. That way you get to see these players get to play with each other that you never really got to before. They do that whole thing with the 24 points. You have to get to 24 points in the fourth quarter if you're ahead to win it, but it still gives the other team a chance to come back and win it or something like that in the fourth quarter. That's a little bit odd. But what my dad said too, I agree with. Baseball is the best All-Star games. I agreed with that before. I was a fan when the All-Star game did mean something and you got home field advantage for it. World Series team got home field advantage for the All-Star game. I was a fan of that. I know a lot of people weren't, but I liked having it mean something. It actually gave people an incentive to watch it other than just a bunch of stars just, playing baseball. It wasn't. Now it really, it doesn't have much incentive other than maybe money, but it's kind of like the Pro Bowl in football.
Yeah, we're getting some heat for not talking about Cheney over Poland or JFK over McDonald. However, I believe they spent some time on those games on Ron's show.
I believe
they did a whole bunch.
Yeah, so that we don't want to. Congratulations, and obviously Cam had a great game, and JFK, we're so excited for them. McDonald's season comes to a run. Cheney obviously blasted Poland. The Grisdale era unfortunately comes to an end by the hands of Youngstown Cheney. But you look at this, and from a production perspective, we don't want to spend all the time on those teams. They spent a lot of time on those two games, and then we spent the time on the rest. So, congratulations to those teams. It's not that we're knocking them or we're avoiding them. It's just, they spent, I would be willing to bet they spent 40 minutes between those four teams.
We just don't want to repeat ourselves. We don't want to continue repeating ourselves all day.
No, we want new content and we want to make sure that all players are represented. So, Paige saying they could do away with the dunk contest and skills challenge. The skills challenge I saw, I didn't watch it. I saw, if you turn on SportsCenter the night of the NBA All-Star Game, that's all you're going to see is basically a rerun of the NBA All-Star Game and the skills challenge and everything that came with it. I'm almost at the point where I'd rather see the 3-point contest go because they just don't miss anymore. It's just like they're hitting, 9 out of 10 shots and Steph Curry's shooting it and turning it around.
I think they're just gonna have to expand it. Like they're getting more creative than what it used to be. Right? You're gonna have to start shooting from half court. And maybe not necessarily from half court, but expand that zone even further out because those guys are shooting 10, 20 feet behind the 3-point line anyway.
They used to do it with that team, like that 4-man team or whatever. They had to make like lay up a free throw 3 in half court or something like that. They would race against each other.
Something like that. Personally, for me, for All-Star Weekend, I would love the dunk contest a lot more if we could actually see the best dunkers in the league. Like, remember watching, you could watch the old highlights now when Dominique Wilkins and Michael Jordan competed in the dunk contest. That's high-quality entertainment when you have the best dunkers. The fact that
there's certain guys that don't want to go and lose, though.
Well, no. It's that on top of the fact that they don't want to risk the injuries, and it's everything's injury wise anymore. But it would be
the last guy that got hurt on a dunk contest.
Someone just did actually recently. They who was it? Just broke or sprained their wrist doing a dunk in practice. It was actually just recently a player.
It was Softy McSofferson.
Yeah, probably someone like that. But yeah, someone definitely did just hurt themselves. But I would love to see the actual superstars, the best dunkers in the dunk contest. That would definitely make it entertaining.
I just want the superstar. I don't even care if they're the best dunkers. Just give me the people who are carrying the league. Because why are we watching
Dwight Howard win? What?
What's wrong with Dwight Howard?
There's nothing wrong with Dwight Howard. It's just with the talent and the jumpers that are in the NBA, he should never win a dunk contest.
He was a superstar at the time.
What?
He dunked on a 12-foot hoop.
I don't care.
Pretty impressive. And he hit the top of the backboard. That's impressive. I don't care who it is.
Who was the guy that blew out the birthday candle?
Gerald Green.
That was sweet.
He had a better dunk in the game like a week later. He had that oop windmill thing.
Like, I respect the fact. Did you guys see the winning dunk?
No.
The kiss. He kissed the rim, or he almost kissed the rim. He went for it, like smooched, and like he had like this much away from it, and they gave him credit for it.
It's like Dwight Howard dunking the ball when he threw it through the rim.
That's who it was. Kelly Oubre Jr. from the Golden State Warriors injured his wrist in practice doing a dunk.
Kelly Oubre Jr.?
Yep.
Who the hell is that guy?
Sophie McSofferson.
I'd rather see the five of us compete in the dunk contest than
That's nice. That was a good one.
It was a social distance kiss. Yeah, I didn't think that I thought it was a good idea, the winning dunk last night, but none of them were sitting there. Like, the one dude could jump out of the gym. The guy that won it, his name's escaping me right now, but that's the point. He's a no-name freaking winning the dunk contest when, like, LeBron James should be. Like, Chris Paul, get in the dunk contest. I want to see Chris Paul dunk again and again and again because it looks like it's a little bit of a challenge for him.
He can't. He only gets one per, like, 3 years.
He can do
my
it.
My buddy, we were having this argument the other night. He goes, he really thinks it'd be awesome if 3 NBA guys, 3 G League guys, and 3 guys off the street that has been popular doing like videos or whatever, like streaming, doing their.
They would lose.
And that's the point. It would be great. You're talking about just as an entertainment thing. That would be pretty sweet to have.
You ever see that video of that one dude that like dunked with Gary Payton or whatever?
Yep.
That guy would win every time.
But it would be great for us fans just to see, because like we're getting no names that we never even heard of come off the bench for Golden State and then trying to compete for. So what would be the difference between having another 3 G League guys and guys off the street?
They need to just get rid of all of them. It's pointless. The dunk contest is stupid. Like DJ said, the 3-point contest, they all could make them. And the skills challenge is all basketball skills that everybody in the NBA can do anyway.
They're keeping.
So then what do they do?
You think they're keeping this 3-point dunk?
Do the rookies and sophomores game or whatever. Play the All-Star game and have the Celebrity All-Star game.
They can sweep the court. If the person that can sweep the court the best is going to be your skills challenge winner.
Do that.
Or
have
pass
the
out.
Ridiculous Olympics or whatever before the game.
I don't know. You mop a pretty good floor, Quinn. I'm not going to lie to you.
I do.
And you got credit from Betos when you do it. So, yeah, I'm real interested about. I don't know. My heart wants to like it, but I'm like, this is not good. This is not good stuff. Like, it's not, the home run derby. Everybody, blasts the home run, but it takes talent. It takes talent to dunk. It takes talent but there's almost too much talent. So I would almost want to see a game of horse, like a ridiculous game of horse. I think would be fun to watch.
Didn't they do that a couple years ago?
I don't know because, again, I'm not an NBA avid viewer.
I think they did.
Yeah,
they tried to do it or something.
They tried to, and it had really weird rules to it and really weird stipulations. Like, just do away with that. For me, I think that the best skills challenge is the hockey skills challenge during Hockey All-Star Weekend. Some of that stuff's unreal that those guys can do, with a stick and a puck while they're on skates. Like, I'm a severely limited talent kind of guy, and to watch them be able to do all of that stuff at once is just ridiculous.
You know what I want to see, and I just thought of? I want to see a geriatric combine in the NFL. So if you're in there for 5 years or longer, you have to do the combine all over again.
What do you think Tom Brady's 40 time is now?
I don't know, but he loves he loves talking about his muscles. Like I saw 4 different videos from 4 different sites over the weekend, him talking about his whatever, there's a word for it, like long lean muscles, and I'm like, dude, all right, like leave it go. Leave it go. But I can get behind. I mean, think about that. Like Tom Brady running the 40, seeing how many times J.J. Watt can put up, 225. Was it 225? Yeah, 225 with an arm brace on. You know what I mean? Like the bionic man. I just think that'd be fun. And you call it the geriatric combine, and you go from there. So the winner gets it's not Pediasure, it's the Ensure. Winner gets a box of Ensure and a box of diapers. So
I would be more likely to tune in to see how many beers Rob Gronkowski could chug. Like that, to me, that's must-see TV.
Backyard combine.
Yeah, that'd be better than the All-Star game.
Gronk's just playing beer pong, just smashing them home the entire time.
He's a weird guy, man. Gronk is a weird guy. We do have some news that broke yesterday, I believe, yesterday or Saturday. Some of us knew about it for a while. Others, when the main media broke it, we were just kind of like, there it is. So congratulations. We don't want to dampen the mood or the party for this young man because he's worked hard to get it. It's a junior from Ursuline High School. Brady Shannon announced that he's going to UCF to continue his baseball and academic careers down in Florida for UCF. So congratulations to him. Mac, you're very close to this young man. He's worked very hard to get where he is. And this is a big announcement that really got... I don't want to say it got swept under the rug by the mainstream media a little bit, but it did because, I don't know, you tell me. Why did it get swept under the rug, and why is it a wet blanket?
Well, it shouldn't be because he's a great player, and if you've been paying attention to the baseball circuit the last year and a half to 2 years now, Brady Shannon's name has come up a whole lot. Yeah, and he plays at a school that is that's going to play great talent every time they go out there. And all this kid does is go out and produce. He played in the Class B for a couple of years. He also played for release baseball up in the Cleveland circuit for some travel teams and getting high recognition. And as he should, a PBR, he was one of the sought out guys that they interviewed for. A guy ran a 6.8 in the 60, great bat speed, 95 miles an hour plus. I mean, he's a 6'4" frame, 220, runs like a deer, and he's got a hose out there. So this is a D1 an athlete that you've heard about him for football, but talking to him, as one of his coaches for a while, baseball is something that he really wanted to do. That was kind of something that he wanted to do. If it was football, I'm sure everybody at the Blue Coats and everybody else would probably be all over this. But since it's a baseball thing, I don't know why people don't get it as excited for baseball and softball signings, but we do here at YSN. So congratulations, Brady. You really earned it, and you came out of nowhere with it to some, not to us though. Congratulations.
Yeah, it's exciting to see, and we want to celebrate that. We're setting up an interview with Brady, I think tonight, to talk to him about his journey. Because can you imagine being so good at 3 sports that you have to choose which one you want to play at the next level? Like that's crazy. That's crazy talk. Like most of us are barely good at one sport that we can play at the next level. That's why we celebrate these signings, because it's not something that should be taken for granted, and it is an exciting thing that our area has so many student athletes that are able to make that jump from high school to college, and Brady makes it a little bit higher. It's going to D1 to a really good baseball school. Anytime you can go play in the South at the next level, it's seen as a victory. Yeah.
Yeah, you've made it. That's not a knock against Ohio or North college baseball players. It's just they play all year round down there. They don't mess around. They're not getting two-way athletes down south. You're playing football or you're playing baseball all year round, similar to basketball too.
Very cool. So congratulations again, Brady Shannon. We're proud of you. We're excited for you, and we will talk to you very soon and have you on and describing what it was like for you to announce it in a COVID world, which is still just crazy. Even though I feel like we're taking steps in the right direction to get back to normalcies here. So, all right, let's get to the G. Burbick Farms What's Your Beef, brought to you by our good friends over at G. Burbick Farms. Their family's farm, your family's freezer. And let's go filet our beef. Quinn from the G. Burbick Farms studios.
My beef is with my mother today.
Uh-oh.
Called me fat again. Gave me noodles and chicken for lunch. And, yeah, not a good day. Not a good day for me.
She went straight to the F word?
Oh, yeah. With another 3-letter word following it. But that's for later talks.
What? She called you an FA?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
what she doesn't know is that I decided to go to Sheetz because I wanted fries. So I got fries.
Did you spend $25?
No, spent $5.
All right, 20 short. Pinching pennies.
Absolutely.
So that's interesting. No pudgy, no stout.
No, I think I've graduated past all that.
What was the other one, Coach?
Husky.
Yeah. Thick, there's a lot. I'm sensitive. I am sensitive.
She went straight to the FA. Ugh. Sorry, Quinn. It's a rough day. We love your mom though, so 9 times out of 10 I'm going to side with your mom.
Food was great. I got to give it to her. The noodles and chicken was fantastic. It was incredible.
Digging deep for your beef today. All right, Matt, what do you got for us?
Yeah, I'm going with a filet today, and my filet is just a hat tip to you, DJ, and everything that went on last night with the Steel Valley FCA and with Coach Dressel. Obviously, as a football coach, huge fan. Anytime I get to hear Jim Tressel speak, it's at the top of my list. Had an opportunity a couple years ago to go over and hear him and John Cooper tell Buckeye stories at the Canton Palace Theater. Just an unbelievable time. But that FCA event was fantastic last night.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. It was. I thought it went off well until, again, we had internet issues, which have not subsided, apparently, since last night and the power outage. Ty Bartell, Big Game Bart, what do you got for us?
Mine's going to be a filet, and since we're tailing off the end of basketball season, we're kind of done with our broadcast too. It's given me a time to reflect. I kind of went out this season to go and visit as many schools as I can, and I don't remember the final tally. It was something over 20 that I got a chance to visit this basketball season, and got a chance to meet those communities and these kids and these parents of these kids, and just get to tour the schools in general. And my filet is just being able to have the opportunity to do that, and for these communities and these schools that have welcomed not only us but me personally into their schools and have been so helpful and so caring of YSN as a business, and always engaging with me after the game, before the game, talking sports, talking their team and everything. I want to thank you guys all for the entire season, for welcoming me and us in every single time, no matter what school it was.
Attaboy, Ty. Mac, what do you have?
My is a filet. It's Brady Shannon, and super excited again. I know we just touched on it right there, real recent, but being one of his coaches, it's super exciting, super proud. Glad to be a part of the journey, and I think that a lot of coaches, take away this moment, and it should be just about the athletes, and it's why we're here. It's what we do. It's why we do what we do every day, every year. It's why we sign the contracts. We put in the hours to put these kids on whatever pedestal we can to get them to the next level, to be a part of something that they want to be able to accomplish and move forward. So really happy for him, excited, and hopefully we can get more kids in the Valley through YSN and through any part, an opportunity to reach their goals and dreams.
I love it. Mine is, well, wait a minute.
Is that weird that I took off a South Range hat to put on a Ursuline one?
No.
I bet Paul would be super excited.
Look what I have. Got the same one. Mine is going to be a filet as well. Last night's event, it was a dream come true. The 12-year-old DJ Yoakley, who followed the Youngstown State Championships all the way up, and obviously the DJ Yoakley that sat and watched Jim Tressel raise that crystal football into the air on behalf of all of us in Ohio and the Buckeye State. I was geeking out again. It was another opportunity for me to interview one of my role models. I was geeking out, and a lot of great people put a lot of great effort into that event last night, and I got to be the face of it. So thank you to all the great people. I could name 50 names, and it still wouldn't be enough that put it together. But obviously the churches and we at YSN are very we're very strong in our fellowship and in our walk with the Lord, and not to get overly preachy or overly thumping the Bible a little bit, but that's who we are. We're based in our faith, and that's what we believe. And without trying to without trying to get all the way into it. It's our way of communicating. It's our way of giving back and to letting people know that it's okay to believe in whatever you want to believe. So the FCA has done wonders for YSN. It's done wonders for the area in Youngstown. They continue to do great things. I think they met their goal last night of over $40,000. I think they were into the 50s by the time it ended last night. But the only bad part was whenever that freaking internet went down, man. That was the worst part of the whole thing. Like, I was ready. I had the seal the deal question at the end, and I never got to ask it. So hopefully someday I'll get to talk to Coach Tressel again and ask that question about adversity, because I want to know when he was going through adversity, when did he lean on his faith? Was it all the time? Was it some of the time? Was it something that he didn't even think of? So that was my question, and that is your What's Your Beef by G. Burbick Farms. Visit them on the web at gburbickfarms.com. That is going to do it for the YSN Power Hour today. We want to thank our sponsors. We want to thank all of you for tuning in and watching. And we certainly want to thank all these great panelists for making your Monday a better place to be. Until next time, which is, of course, tomorrow from 3 to 4, right here on Facebook or Twitter or ysnlive.com or YouTube. We will see you next time. Congratulations, Brady Shannon. We'll see you a little bit later.